Hello everyone. How are you all doing today? I believe, well, I don't know when I'm going to put this video up, but today actually at my house, right this moment, it is Black Friday, and I have spent a good portion of the day deciding how I'm going to spend that money. Not for me personally, or even for Christmas gifts or holiday gifts, Yule gifts, whatever, but because what I do for a living, there are tons of ways to spend money to support my business, and with some great deals on Black Friday. So I have spent the day working on that, and I still have one more purchase to make, but it pains me because it's not as simple as, spending a couple of $100 or even spending $100, but it's more like, $300-400 that I'm spending, which, ouch. But it's all worth it. It'll make my life easier. So that's what I've been doing today. Right now, we are going to look at making some envelopes. So please subscribe. I would appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers because I want to be able to get my name and everything. And I am going to be doing a giveaway, of course. So more information on that coming soon. But for today, we are going to make some envelopes. I have this handy dandy envelope maker here, and I loved it at first. I still love it. There's nothing wrong with it. But then at some point, I bought one of these, and of course I discovered that I can do virtually all of this on here. The only thing I can't do is make this nice little cut that it makes, but so I wouldn't buy both, especially if you're on any kind of a budget. I would buy a good scorer and do that. I also have, I'm so glad I finally found this, because as y'all know, I've been having to turn around and use my big cutter over here because my big cutter is quite heavy, and I still will use it most of the time because it does such a good job. And of course these little blades in here just seem to go dull so quickly. But this is a nice cutter, and from Recollections, and it also has this scoring, I don't know what you call it, a blade scoring device. So it will also score. I don't know how to make envelopes with this, but I can show. I don't know how to do the turny thing, but I do know how to do it with this. So we are going to use the simpler version of all of this today, and I'm going to get a few of these things out of the way so we can get set up here. I'll move this over just a little bit. Oh my word, my area is a mess. A mess. Okay. So first thing you're going to do when you're making your own envelopes is to start with a piece of paper. So I have this paper, and you can do a variety of sizes. This scoring thing, and I have that little doohickey that goes in there. I have a bunch of those doohickeys. I don't think that's the one that goes with it. I have a bunch of them. I don't know where this particular one is, but anyway, on the inside, oh, maybe it doesn't tell me on the inside of that. I thought it would tell me there's all of this right here. Oh, it does. I think this is instructions on how to do that, where you do all of the folds. And this right here will tell you. So for example, if your cards, it's easier to see on here than it is over there. For example, if you're doing a 3x5 card, the envelope that that card would fit into, you would make a 6 3/4 by 6 3/4 square piece of paper. And then your first score line would be at 2 3/4. And then it follows you through this little system where you just follow the little system. I don't do this anymore. What I do, because most of my envelopes don't have to fit into anything specific. They're going into my junk journal. So they need to be an appropriate size to go into my junk journals, but that's about it. So what I do, and this is pretty simple, I mean, I'm going to start off with, this is a 12 by 12. I'm going to start off with a 6 by 6 for this piece of paper. I'm going to start off with a 6 by 6. Yeah. As far as I know, you have to start off with a square piece of paper. And then you know, Gail is always talking about this, and she remembers it by, I don't even remember her little phrase, but mountains make valleys and valleys make mountains. Essentially, you want to score on the opposite side of the direction you want it to fold into. So if I want it to fold like this, I'm going to score it like, right? No. See? Almost got turned around there. Because I'm going to want this to fold in like this, I want to score in here. So, the way this works, where's my little piece here? Oh my word. And now, by the magic of television, I have found this piece right here fits in a slot right down here at the end, right here. Like so. And it's supposed to stay with it. Obviously it didn't. But you just slide it in there to form that corner, that up there in that corner. And now right here it tells us if this piece of paper, which if it was 5.5 by 5.5, which it's not, it's 6 by 6, but it's close. The score line A's would be at 2 inches and the B score lines would be at 2.5. And I'm going to show you what that means in just a second. But we're going to go ahead and I think maybe we're gonna change that just a little bit and make that, yeah, let's make it 2.5 here. We're going to make 2.5 our A line, and now we're going to turn it all the way around like this. So this score line is on this side, and we're going to come back to 2. Is that what we did? 2.5? I think it is. Hold on. Yes. No, we did it 2 1/4. I'm glad I turned around and looked. That was 2 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that my score line is over here. Come back to 2 1/4. There we go. And now, so I have score and score. Now I need these two scored. And I'm going to do these at 2.5. 2.5. Turn it all the way around. 2.5. There we go. Now we're going to set this off to the side for a moment. And you will see, I hope you can see this, that there are little triangles in each one of these corners right here. I mean, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim those out. Now, the line itself is right here. I'm going to go just to the outside of that line and go right up to that corner. And I'm going to go just outside the line, right up to that corner. Now I have a little bit wider triangle than I originally had. And like that. And I'm doing this for all 4 of these corners. And all this is doing is taking out some of the bulk. And I'm going to throw all of this away. Okay, so now we actually have an envelope. Fold that in. Fold that side in. And see, because we came in just a little bit when we cut out those corners, now I don't have anything blocking my way there. And I can come up like that. Come down like that, and I have an envelope. Now, the only thing that this device does that my score, that this one doesn't, is it will allow me to stick this right in here and get that nice little curved edge. I like it, but I don't like it well enough to pull out 2 things. So I'm going to glue this. In this case, I've got a little overlapping dot right there. And then I'm going to run this little bit of glue right here. Notice I didn't go all the way to the top because I don't want to glue this piece to the back. And I have a little envelope that I can then decorate and tuck into one of my junk journals. So we are going to chat as we make a bunch of these. And I mean a bunch of them because they start going really quickly. As soon as I get that glue taken care of. I'm going to make a couple more of these in this size. So 2, I think I did that 2 1/4. Yeah. And I never do the back and forth. I always do 2 1/4, 2 1/4, or whatever my measurements are. And then I do the opposing sides because I will get confused. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. I'm going to make this a slightly different size. Let's do 2. 2. And now I can look right here and I can see, I have to make sure I have that a corner to come out. So I'm going to go to 2 1/2 right here. Because the only thing that matters is that I get that little shape right there. Because once I do that, the shape of the actual envelope will change. You see how this one fits inside that one widthwise? Right, it's a little bit wider. The only difference is that the dimensions that I use to score, and this is a little bit smaller, this little triangle right here. Okay, so we're going to set this off to the side for a moment, and we're going to cut some paper. I want to make a bunch of these, so I have them ready to go. This is kind of like Tina's mass making. I'm sure she did envelopes. I'm doing envelopes because I actually need some envelopes. So we can, I'll still do some mass making with her, but I need envelopes today. So I'm going to make this one. I'm going to make this one 5 by 5 on one of them. If I can get to the 5. There we go. That's the scoring. 5 by 5. So now I have another one I can work with right there. This is not square. I could cut another 5, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save this scrap for something else. And then there's this one that I did not cut very well a moment ago to get that little edge off right there. So we're going to take that off. And now this one is 7 inches, so I'm going to make this 7 by 7. Because remember, you always have to start with a square. And now I'm going to save this scrap as well, because I can always use scraps. This is an offcut from a digital kit. I will try to remember to post which one because I love this kit. I know it has some, I think the name is Ooh La La, but I'm not gonna swear to that, and I'm certainly not gonna say the name of the designer until I can verify that, because I don't want to say the wrong one. Let's see, I didn't want to cut so well. I'm going to cut that off a little bit more. All right. Okay, so I'm still trimming this down. That's my pops who just came in and talked to me. I'm not going to make you listen to our grocery list conversation, so I will trim that out later. Okay, the most I have on this one, the width I have on this one is, what is this? 8. We're going to go with 8. Except I think I want it to be this side trimmed off. I don't know if y'all know this, but if you, hold on, yeah. If your cutter is getting a little dull, if your paper is a little thin, if you'll lift up and start the cutting in the middle of the paper, it won't snag it as badly like it did right there and wreak all kinds of havoc. You can see where it just shredded it and didn't cut it. Scraps, and now I have a little bit larger piece of paper to work with, a larger envelope. This is an old book page. I just love this. I am actually going to trim the big white part. White. There's nothing white on this. I'm going to trim off the, see, I'm going to trim this off first. I'm going to trim off this part first because I'm going to use that for something else. I think that will make something lovely. Now, it's not the sturdiest paper in the world because it's so old. This is probably, I don't really remember what book this is from, but I would guarantee you this book is probably at least 75 or 100 years old, knowing me, because I buy very old books. I'm going to leave the top, but I am going to cut this. Okay. So now I have these 3 scraps that I can use for something, and they're just such a beautiful color. This is all natural coloring. Like, this is where somebody had their thumb and the oils from their skin changed the color of that. So here we have this, and I think I'm going to, well, let's see what the measurement of this is. 6.5. Now remember, this is all going to be at an angle, but that's okay. We don't mind things like this being a little wonky. In fact, we like wonky sometimes. Okay, so that's a square piece, and this we have as a scrap. I'm only going to do one of those. This is a lovely embossed piece of paper I have from my stash. God only knows where it came from. It's It is 8.5, so we're going to just make a large envelope with this one, but that corner's a little bent, so I'm going to make that the offcut. 8.5. Envelope, scrap. I don't know what this says. Let's see here. I love this color though. Let's make this one 7 inches by 7 inches. More scraps, and I'm gonna make this one a 7 inch as well. I love purples. I don't know that I've met a color I don't particularly like. There are certain shades of yellow that I'm not crazy about, but there's specific shades that just seem a little annoying to me. Okay, this right here, if I can reach it, I actually have a couple of these. These are already cut into squares because I was going to make envelopes with them and I never got around to it. These came from old calendar that I got a whole bucket of things, paper and things from ACR. You're going to hear me talk about ACR a lot. I've got a workshop coming up with them on December 15th, teaching beginning junk journaling. So I occasionally go in and find these cool old pieces of paper. Sometimes there's calendar, sometimes it's all kinds of things. And I use these for creating envelopes as well. So we're going to create an envelope with that. And now this comes from my dear friend, Emily. I just love her to bits. She and Amy and Jody and Janice are all in my little crafting group. We get together occasionally. And Emily gets the coolest things sometimes. And she gave this to me. It's genuinely too thick for an envelope, but I'm in love with it. So I really want to make an envelope out of it, but I really don't want the lines to be cattywampus. So yeah. Pardon me. I'm still going to make an envelope that's cattywampus. I have quite a few of these. I love them. They are textured and they're just got these raised lines, these embossed lines. I love this paper. This is going to make a lovely tag. And I'm making these 8 inches, I believe. I believe that was the... Now, this right here will not make anything on its own, but it will make a lovely... this isn't perfect, but let's just say this was a belly band like this. I could then use this as an accent, put a little piece of lace with that or something. So I'm actually going to hold on to this. I don't often save my offcuts that are like this because I should, but I don't. But if the paper is particularly nice, if there's something special about it, yeah, I save it. Okay, we are done with this for the time being. So let's bring this device over and start making some envelopes. So this right here is telling me an 8.5 by 8.5. I'm gonna do a 3 and 3 5/8. Well, this is 8 by 8. So I'm gonna do we'll do 3/4, 2 and 3/4. 2 and 3/4. Oh, I went way off base there. You can see sometimes it just slips, particularly with thicker cardstock. It's hard to keep it right in that groove. And then we'll do 3 and 1/8. Having a hard time staying in that groove right there. 3 1/8. Because I just want a little sliver right there. And I have a nice large envelope. I think that's going to be gorgeous. This is 8.5 by 8.5. And this says to do a 3 and a 3 5/8. So that's what we're going to do. 3. Turn it all the way around. Flip side. 3. And then 3 5/8. 3 5/8. Three and 5/8. This one is 8.5 as well. 3. Now I could do this and do 3 5/8 and then 3 and then 3 5/8, but I'm not that good. I'm telling you, I will forget before I get all the way around. So I did 3 and then I'll do 3. You do you. As Nick the Booksmith says, I'm not your mother. But I am a mother, and that means I think the children fried all of my brain cells. So I can't make it all the way around without forgetting what my numbers were. That just went way off track. It's still going off track. There we go. Maybe I didn't go off track. Okay, that one's done. This one is 7 inches. So I'm going to look here and get an approximation that says 3 5/8. I mean 2 5/8. So we're going to go 2.5. 2.5. 2.5. Did I stay straight? Oh, there it is. And the other number, well, we don't have to look over there. We'll do 2 3/4. Because remember, we can make up our numbers as long as we have a little triangle right there. We have to have that triangle. And I believe this one is the same size. Oh, I should have paid attention to what I was cutting that or doing. 2/3. I mean 2 3/4. There we go, right there. That's good. Good enough. What is this one? 8.5. So why don't we do one that's wide? Let's do let's do a 2.5. 2.5. Two and a half. And now, remember, we have to have a triangle. So I've got to come all the way up here to 3 3/4. 3 3/4. And what this is going to give us is an envelope that's really wide like this. And we can actually cut off some of this down here if we wanted to save some of that cute paper. We're not going to, but we could. This one is going to be very persnickety, I'm telling you, because the paper is so delicate. And I don't even know why I'm attempting this, but I am. So here we go. Let's just use 2 1/4. Two and 1/4. And 2 3/4. This paper is really thick, but it's very fragile. Okay, we're gonna keep our fingers crossed on that. How big is this one? 8 inches. Let's do 2 3/4. 2 3/4. And let's go for a 3-inch. No, 3 1/4. 3 1/4. So, how was your holiday? I hope you're all off today. I wasn't. I had to work this morning, but I work from home most of the time, so it's all right. I don't even know how big this is. It's almost 7 inches, or right at 7 inches. So it's all right, but I would rather. What did I do? See, I don't know that I can talk. Okay, 5/8, 2 5/8. I still would have preferred not. I'm already feeling the pain of needing a vacation and needing a couple extra days off, and here I am, I'm off for a few days, so I still have, the rest of today and Saturday and Sunday to go, but I'm like, I want a little more time. All right, so I have to do this one a little different because it says the smallest here is 5 1/2 and the A line is 2 inches, so I'm going to have to go, we'll go 1 3/4 there. I love little envelopes. I think they're really cute. And we're going to go 2 inches there. I actually probably should have made some a little smaller than this even. Okay, now we get to do all of our little snipping. And hopefully we can get through that pretty quickly. Otherwise, you're going to be bored out of your minds. Okay. This I can probably do and talk. So I do marketing, and that primarily means that I do a lot of, I do a lot of things. I do a lot of branding work, and I do social media, SEO, stuff like that. But I do a lot of web development, which is probably one of my favorite parts of what I do. I love web design. It's artistic and creative, and I really enjoy it. So, but I work for myself. I have my own firm, and so that means I get to mostly set my own hours, which sounds lovely, doesn't it? Except that means that I work on, holidays or days when most other people are off. What it also means is that on those times when everyone else gets, like, oh, wow, we have we're going on vacation. We're going to take, 4 days off, 4 work days off, or 5 work days off. What that means for me is that I have to get that work done the week before, the week after my vacation. So vacations to me are, they're lovely, but they're not quite the same as if I were just reporting in to a corporate job, which is what I used to do. I used to work for corporate America. And that was certainly an advantage, was being able to just, when you left, you left. I loved that part. And I loved having the benefits, but I also enjoy the creativity that I get from working for myself. It also lets me do things like this. I have, a little bit of time to do this kind of thing, which I love. So enough about what I do for a living, because I know that's not why you're here. You're here to talk about junk journaling, which I don't blame you. That's what I want to talk about all the time, even to my clients. Yes, I've had these conversations with my clients. Like, do you know what a junk journal is? I need to write up some things for the workshop that I've got coming up. I would like to have, a history of junk journaling, and I also want to have some ideas that I can put down on paper for what you can use your junk journal for. I've got that document started. In fact, I'll probably upload that to my website so you can take a look and see, you know, just a few ideas on. I'm sure you can find it elsewhere, but I want them to be able to take, my students to be able to take home a list of ideas on what they can journal about. And I think I'm also going to give them a document of themes. So if you want to leave some of your favorite ideas, I would sure appreciate it. I have a list of my own. I will add your items to it if you want to share it with me. I'll probably upload my list to my website at some point as well, because I like working off of themes. Obviously color is a great theme, but also like I enjoy doing things like based off a specific book like Alice in Wonderland, or I have some old Hollywood books. I have, I'm going to do a Marilyn Monroe theme pretty soon. I've already started on it actually. I'm cutting things out. So, you know, it's just fun to use a theme. And there are so many ideas out there. I see some fabulous. My favorite theme, honestly, is I like all things dark and mysterious. So I like, not that I think Frida Kahlo is necessarily dark and mysterious, but she is certainly, I don't know, something. So I like sugar skulls. I like dark themes. I just really do. I don't make a lot in dark themes because I give away most of my journals. Yes, I'm probably going to sell them at some point, but I have so many people who I can give them to that I have not quite gotten around to that. Although I have a whole stack of them piling up. So after the holidays, I may start selling, because I can't store them forever. And my personal junk journals are mostly going to be the darker themes, because I just like it, you know. We are almost through with the snippage. Just as a reminder, there are these little triangles right here, and so I'm just cutting those off. And I'm going just on the wider side of those triangles, making them just a little bit bigger than they are by the fold. And that will give me a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to folding these. All right. The weather today is nasty. It's cold for Texas. It's cold for Austin. It's, I think it's probably in the high 40s, low 50s, which is ridiculous for here. Okay, we're just going to fold these up. I actually like the little sharp triangle. Am I gonna, yeah, might as well. Let's see, am I gonna glue these? Yes, I am. Well, I said I'm gonna glue it. Okay. But of course, I'm very grateful that even though we've got some rain and cold today, I don't have snow. And I am eternally grateful for that. It's why I live in the South. Although I will tell you, you will probably hear a lot more about this at some point. I have an absolute love affair going with New Mexico. And in spite of the snow, occasionally I entertain the idea of retiring there someday, because it's just beautiful. I fell in love with the mountains when I was there the first time, and which was only about 5 years ago, with a good friend of mine, Marilyn, and where is it? There we go. She and I went on a hike in the foothills, just I believe north of Albuquerque, just on the north side of town, and it captivated me. I can't even begin to describe. I fell in love. So I love New Mexico. I just don't know how I would deal with the snow, with the cold. That's ridiculous. I know many of you deal with it for months on end. I've got another good friend of mine who moved to Canada, and another good friend who moved from here, from Texas, to Buffalo, New York. And I see her posts about this, and I'm just, every time she complains about the snow, I'm like, you know, that's why you should come home, because we don't have that. I mean, it'll be snowing like in May. I don't even understand that. That's crazy talk. We're in the 80s or 90s in May, if we're lucky, which suits me just fine. Okay. That's holding up better than I thought it would. See a little bit of an edge there. I'll trim off. Isn't that cute? Oh, love that. These are going to be so much fun to decorate, don't you think? Okay. Do you think we should decorate them together? If you would like for me to do that on video with some of them, I could certainly decorate some ahead of time. Most of these are just going to go into my stash, or I will use them. Like, I will use some of these to actually mail things with, which is what got this whole thing started. Is I need to mail something, so I like to make envelopes to mail things to people. But I also have a junk journal I want to throw an envelope into. Anytime they overlap, the centerpieces overlap, I do just a dot right there because, you know, why not? And you'll notice I don't use a lot of glue because these, I don't think, need a lot of glue. I'm going to hold off on that one. Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble with that fold. Yeah, I should have done those folds a little bit stronger, but that's all right. Aren't those cute? I love using these old, I like using magazine pages or old calendars. They're just really adorable. This one did not score. Neither one of these scored very well, so I'm having to sort of feel my way along here. This one worked well. That one fold. The rest of the folds on these did not seem to work so well. Okay, I think we are through. Except for this one. I'm gonna go this way. Again, I probably normally would not use this heavy of a stock for an envelope, but I'm in love with this paper that she gave me, and so I just had to. Just had to. It's a requirement. I'm using a little more glue on this because it's going to have to work a little harder at holding. I'm going to burnish that in just a little bit. Wipe off the excess. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, here is our collection. I don't know how long we've been doing this, but we have quite a few envelopes here. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, 13. We have 13 envelopes. And I think that's pretty good. I think we will stop there. So, again, subscribe. I would love that. I would very much appreciate it. I would also particularly love if you left a comment below and told me whether or not you would like to watch me, or if we should decorate these together. I think that would be fun. I wish you could just all come over and hang out at the house with me and we could pull out all of my things. I might have to bring in a few extra chairs, but it would be fun for us to all hang out and decorate. So, oh, you know what I could do? I got these new corner punches. Ha! I just got them at ACR. Look at that. I didn't even think about it until just now as I was saying goodbye. So, I've got that. Oh. I also have this one, which gives me, it's supposed to give me a little, can you see that? I don't know if I want to use that very often, but that's not too bad. I think I like this one better for this purpose, but that's, oh, look at that, that's so cute. So see, you don't even need that other thing. All you need is a scoring. It looks like it's almost the same as that envelope maker. So you don't need the envelope maker. You need the scorer, and you need a corner punch. I have another corner punch that I bought before I really kind of knew what I was doing. It's this great big one, and it makes great big. Trying to find something I don't mind doing it on. It makes really big corners. See? They're nice. They're certainly nice. But you can see that it's a wider, I don't know why that's there. It's a wider circle, right? That's this one. And I'm still going to use it. I still like it, but it's not, I like this one for this purpose right here. So there you go, 13 envelopes. And I am going to go make my last purchase for my work. And then maybe I will have dinner with my pops. And I hope you all have a great evening. And I will see you very soon. Bye.